The library is a collection of objects that we can bring into our model. You can add scenic and representational objects from the library into your augmented model, giving you more surfaces with which your lights can interact. Let's go ahead and add our first stock object. So we need to open our editor back up here. And over here on the left in our library, you can see there's a number of stock objects we can choose from. We're going to go down here and look in 3D shapes. And I'm going to grab a cube and drag that into our model space. And we can use all of the modification tools that we learned earlier. So move is selected right now, so I can move this object on the X, Y, or Z axis. I can move those here. I can also type in dimensions down here in my inspector. So I can change this position to have an X value of 10 feet. And those numbers are also displayed right in the model. I can also scale this object. Again, using my handles. I can scale my X, my Y, or my Z. Or if I grab this white handle, I can scale all three proportionally. I can also rotate this object. Got my planet rings back here. So I can spin that here or on any of the three axes. And as a reminder, I can click on my local origin and then move it along the new rotation and position that I've created. Go ahead and click that off for now. Let's add one more object. I'm going to open up our drape section, bring in our black curtain, and I want to scale that to be a bit longer and a little bit taller. So we can see we've now got a nice black piece of soft goods there. In order to delete an object, we need to select it either in the model or in the hierarchy. And I can right click in the hierarchy and choose delete, or I can simply select it and press my delete key on my device. I'm going to go ahead and say yes, and that will remove that object from the model. Note that it is still in my library, but it is no longer in my hierarchy. Let's go ahead and add a section of truss into our model. So in our library, we have a truss section in our stock library, and I'm going to bring in the square truss, drop that in here. And I can move my model to see that a little bit better. In addition to scaling an object and just eyeballing it in the model, we can give it absolute dimensions. Let's go ahead and give this an absolute length of 40. So we'll put 40 into our X field. We want our Y dimension, our depth, to be 1, and our Z is going to be 1. So it's a 1 foot square truss that is 40 feet long. You can see it there. Notice that our anchor point is on the end of the truss. So in order to hang this on center, we're going to put that anchor point at negative 20 feet. So I'm going to come down here to its position and give it an X of negative 20. I'll slide my camera over. Its Y value is going to be negative 28'9". Type negative 28.9, almost 29 feet downstage. And the Z value is 35 feet. So there is our front of house truss. And notice that our fixtures are right about in the correct location. If you look in our inspector, notice that scale and size are tied together. So if I scale this piece of truss on the X value and make it longer, it is also affecting the size value. For now, I want to put this back to 40 feet. The objects in the stock library are there to help you get representational objects in your model. They're a way to get objects in place so that light can bounce off of them and interact with them without necessarily being 100% accurate.